Oh, hey, good evening, guys. It's KB5 MIQ Big Boy. Got a little subject we're going to talk about tonight. Kind of had to change my game plan for the videos, and I had last Sunday morning I went and got everything I thought I needed to get this 8-band Buckmaster in the air, off-center fed dipole in the air this week. And Sunday night at 10 o'clock, I got a call. They was taking my dad back to the emergency room. Come find out he had type A flu again and double pneumonia. So between going to the hospital and the rest home, I've been kind of tied up this week. He's not doing well at all. So I appreciate all your prayers and concerns. I've gotten comments y'all about it, and I really appreciate it. And y'all keep him in your prayers because he needs it right now, I promise you. Got a subject tonight. There's my glasses. I got cats running around the floor here. I have a question regarding common mode current. I was operating portable with a small, inexpensive QRP rig the other day. I was having some issue with RFI getting back into the mic. And he was wondering about a certain tuner with CMC on the coax or ferrite core, what he could do about it. I've had some issues with RF in the past I've talked about, and there's several ways to deal with that, and I haven't had a whole lot of experience dealing with it because I've only really had it happen to me one time. A lot of guys, this one guy told him always use a 1-to-1 balun on a dipole. Not going to disagree with that. In fact, I don't disagree with anything anybody tells anybody on this subject or grounding either, because I don't want to get another grounding video. I'll just say this. Any single band dipole I've ever built, I've never used a 1-to-1 balun. I've always just put the center conductor on one leg and the braid on the other, taped it up and used it. I've never had any problem. Not saying you shouldn't do that. As a matter of fact, if I was going to build a new dipole for a more permanent mounting, I would probably go ahead and use a 1-to-1 balun on it, on a single band dipole. But in this particular case, getting RFI out of something. I've got one of the Hustler 5BTV verticals, and I put it up years ago, and sure enough, I was getting RF into my computer speaker, especially on 10 meters. Especially, it was just eating my speakers up. Well, I got the Hustler manual out, and I went through and I added 3 radials for each band. Now, it's a 5-band antenna, 10, 15, 20, 40, and 80. And the lower you went in band, the longer the radials got. Luckily, I wouldn't want to do it nowadays. High as wire is, at the time I had a part-time electrician business, so I always had extra wire from jobs. And I put 15 radials on that antenna and the length specified by Hustler. And, hey, ham radio cat, well, come on, get up here. Actually took a chopping axe and drug a trench out and put them in the yard underground where I could mow. And it looked like a rabid gopher had been all over my yard. But 15 radials with the length that's specified in the Hustler book did not do one thing. Hey, ham radio cat, did not do one thing on the RF on that particular antenna. I was talking to Jeff at work, which Jeff's my oldest Elmer I've got here, one of my oldest friends, and my main Elmer and ham radio. And he told me that, big boy, he said, I just drive an 8-foot copper ground rod and mount the antenna to that on the pole, but you got it mounted on the ground, just clamp it all together. I did that and the RF went away. And that's all I've ever done with it since. I just had it on a ground rod out there on the ground. Not saying don't put radials down. Never said that to anybody. Cody, for instance, got a Wolf River coil vertical, multi-band HF vertical. And he told us that they recommended 3 elements per 3 radials per band. And he found out with his that he just uses 3 radials for any band. And that's just the way it works out, the way he uses it. I think a lot of that radial and RF issues with different antennas. There's old ham radio cat. She's going to hang up my mic. There she is. Hey, turd, get up here and say hi to everybody. A lot of that problem happens when you get different types of soil around your antennas, where you may have more minerals that cause different feedbacks. That's just me speculating, because I am certainly not a geologist. But like I said, everybody's location is different. My rule of thumb is try the textbook answer first. Do whatever the directions with whatever antenna you're using says do. And if that don't work, that's why we have experimentation in this hobby. Do a little experimenting. See what will work for you. I've talked to somebody else, I think at Vern 6 is using the same type of antenna on the Wolf River coil for portable use, and he only used 3 radials. So sometimes the book may not fit your regular application, your particular application, like it does everybody else. And bear in mind that the instructions and things they put in those directions with those antennas are kind of textbook laboratory conditions or optimum conditions that you might use the antenna under. Just something to think about. But that's why this hobby has experimentation in it, because you may have to do something different, a little out of the norm to get the RF out of something. Just think about it. Do what the book says first, and then just think a little bit out of the box. Ask questions about it. It don't hurt to change up a few things on that. I don't know if Jeff has put radials back down on his again or not. Now, I'm going to take mine down. When I get this 8-band Buckmaster up, if it performs like they say it's supposed to, that's probably going to be my main multi-band antenna. I'll still keep my 10-meter Yagi up and some 2-meter VHF stuff up, but that's probably for HF work. That's going to be my main multi-band antenna. And getting back to single-band antennas, and people saying you need to have a balun on even a single-band dipole. My 10-meter Moxon Yagi is fed like a dipole. It doesn't have a balun on it. It's just got one center conductor going to the one leg of the driven element and the braid going to the other element. And that's the way it comes from the factory. Not saying don't do it. Just saying there's other ways around things like that. Personally, I built lots of single band dipoles. Never had a bit of problem feeding them the way I call it, just feed them like a dipole. But a lot of people like to use a balun, especially a balun, got SO239 on it, easier to hook the coax to, easier to take it down if you need to, things like that. Doesn't hurt to do like that. Well, guys, that's about all I could think of tonight. I'm beat. I've been up rest home twice today, and I got an early trip back up there in the morning. But y'all remember Main Trading Company in Paris, and I say this every video, sign up for Richard's email list, because he's got all kinds of sales coming out and coupon codes. That's the best way to find out about them. Go to the MTC website, sign up for his email list and get on that, and you'll be firsthand notified anytime he's got a sale, closeout, coupon codes. Always check their used gear, and as always, if you call up there and you heard about him here, be sure and tell him you heard about it on Big Boy's channel. I appreciate it. There will be some info coming up about Hamfest after this video. Hopefully, I will have the Buckmaster up within the next 2 weeks. I think this week's weather's going to be kind of crappy, so I may not get to it a lot, depending on how Dad does. Thanks again to everybody who subscribed to the channel. This is KB5 MIQ Big Boy 73.